Hi everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcha, here for the weekly video. And this is take two because take one I screwed up in. Um, so, how is everybody? How was your week? Good, good. I had a really good week too. A little stressful at work, but it all ended fine. So, there you go. Alright, so in today's video, I have updates. I have a small, teeny bit of haul. I expect next week is going to be a bigger haul. Um, and not because of Black Friday. And then I've got my usual hauls as well. So, yeah. Alright. So, let's see. The week coming up is obviously Thanksgiving. Um, which for me means I will be watching The Wizard of Oz. Gasp of shock and surprise. And yes, before anyone asks, I've seen the TBS commercials. Yes, I'm appalled by them. Not because I'm offended by things, but just because I think they're tacky. And really, you don't need to use that to advertise The Wizard of Oz. You just don't. I think it sells itself pretty well at this point. Um, and quite honestly, if you're wanting to introduce it to a group of younger and hipper kids that aren't aware of The Wizard of Oz, you're probably not going to reach those kids with that commercial because they're probably not watching TBS. Just saying. Um, anyhow, so yeah, so I hope everyone's going to have a good Thanksgiving. I don't know who all is going to be hitting up LNS's. Stitch Knitch, to my knowledge, is actually closed all week. If the French Knot is doing something, I may venture over there. But otherwise, I don't think I'm actually going to get to do anything fun. I may have to wait for Cyber Monday, because I also don't get paid till Cyber Monday. So, and I kind of need to be paid if I'm going to be shopping. So, yes. Um, it's finally getting cold here in Texas. Yay, cold! I need to actually dig out my coat tomorrow, I think. Hi. So, yeah, so I hope everyone's setting up for a good Thanksgiving. I've got 2 Fabric of the Months because I'm a sheep and I joined the Under the Sea Fabrics. I've got Just the Threads and Stitchy Box. Should all arrive this week. Right, because January, March, May, July, September, November. So yeah, so November. We should be getting one this month. Yes, we definitely are. And I also bought some threads for Liz that I don't know if she's going to throw into just the threads or if it's going to be in my next subscription box. Or my next Dragonfly Lotus. I don't really know. I'm not sure. And I've got a lot of things coming because I'm a glutton. That's exactly what I am. I am a piggy glutton for stitchy stuff. So it'll be here next week. I hope. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe it'll get it all spread out and then I'll actually have some mini haul going on. So anyhow, but first I've got the always popular Dragonfly Lotus, which again, y'all, if you haven't by this point figured out, I absolutely love everything Liz does. If you haven't bought something from her, at this point, I don't know what else I can say to convince you, except this. I'm not saying that buying something from Liz is gonna make you a millionaire, but I'm not saying that it won't either. So anyhow, so the first one up is Morning Hike, which is Marsham wool, which I've never stitched with. And it's nice, and this is not photographing too well. It's nice greens and browns with a little bit of blue. It looks very much what I kind of imagine the Pacific Northwest to look like, which is where she lives, which is why it looks like that, I'm guessing. This one's called Waterlogged, and it's kind of a turquoise color, and it's BFL wool and silk together. I tell you, when it comes time to do that Munchkin ornament from Brooke, I'm going to have a crap ton of things to pick from. Absolutely going to have a crap ton, because I've also got this one, which is called H2O, which is also shades of turquoise, but is mulberry silk. And then finally, Sprout, which I've already decided is probably going to be used on the Scarecrow. And it's lovely, lovely shades of green, and it's much more yellow-green than it's picking up here. So there are those. I helped Mom clean out the attic, and in amongst a few of the other surprises that I found a skein of 3852. Probably from back when I was making felt dolls. Because I used embroidery floss, so. Yay, random extra skein. Alright, so, as y'all know, I was going to work on Bubonic Dream, as I'm calling it. I did make another change to it. The leaves were supposed to be a gray color, and I thought that was really strange and looked really weird, so I swapped it for Oscar from Weeks Dye Works. And then I replaced Putty with a limited edition General Arts, because I had that and I wasn't going to pay the money to buy Putty when I knew I would have something that I could find that would match. So, but here's where I am. I've got the tree done and some of the leaves. Again, this is on 40 count, Angels something from Weeks Dye Works. It's either Angel Wings or Angel Tears or maybe Angel Dust. Angel Eyes? I don't know, something like that. And then my needle minder is Miss Piggy, because really, what's more Parisian than Miss Piggy? Nothing. God, I love that pig. So, and then I've got one, I finished Poe. And with the exception of Poe, which at the time I was like, this I think is my oldest WIP, until I opened the bag on this one, I went, no, this was started in August of 14. And I've wanted to work on it, but I never really could quite get into it, because there's two big colors that get used a lot. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to spend a half an hour each night and work on this blue. And then once that's done, maybe then I'll feel motivated to work on the rest of it. And then, so I did that, and I got like 3 rows done in half an hour. And then that was Wednesday. Thursday, I guest starred on the Royal Podcast of Oz for the 3rd time. This time discussing The Wiz again. And so I sat there while I was doing that, because it's audio only, so you don't have to see me. So I sat there and I was working on this, and I got in a really good groove, and actually I ended up finishing the skein out. And so then I was like, well, no, I'm in a groove with this, and I realized if I was going to finish out this one color, there was another spot that really needed some work to be done on, to give me the parameters of where that color all needed to go. So I worked on that, and then it just sort of kept going. So, without further ado, I present the Leslie Tier Wizard of Oz. So here's where I'm at. And I was sort of working character at a time. I think what I'm actually going to try and do is start doing pages. So, and work it that way. And maybe that'll help. We'll see. And I think what I'm also maybe going to do, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. The big problem with doing the pages thing is going to be that that bottom page is a lot of basically just 2 colors, green and yellow. We'll see how I do. I need to really actually just look at the pages. I'm going to have to do some figuring out how I want to work it. But, there we go. Got a lot done. I'm feeling really good about it, and I'd really missed working on it. And it kind of made me enjoy Ada again. I don't do a lot on Ada, but this one's really, really been enjoyable. So I've got that nice blue patch in the middle to finish, and I've got the white in the cloud, and then I've got some backstitching to do. So, yeah. So there we go. That's where I'm at on Wizard. I'm finalizing my ideas for next year. For sure, I've got my Brooks. So that's definitely being done. For sure, I've got Home of a Needleworker. Obviously, I'm carrying over Paradise Lost and Scream House and Blue Jeans. and Bubonic Dream and Wizard. So that's 7 things so far. And then I'm starting a new Shadowline. So that's 8. I don't really like having too much more than that going. And there's none of them that I'm just, like, sick of. There's none where I'm just like, I don't want to work on you ever again. So I don't really have anything to sacrifice right now. So unless something really spectacular comes along from Frosted Pumpkin, because I also have Wotsits that'll resume, so that's 9. So unless something really spectacular comes along, I'm probably not going to be adding any more things right at the start of the year. But we'll see. So yeah. Yes. Alright, so before I get into today's Oz thing, I do have next month planned. Next month is going to be all Christmas themed, because it's December. But I don't really know what I kind of want to do for January, so if y'all have any ideas of things you'd like to see, like another character-themed month, or just anything, throw it out there, because I'm always willing to take suggestions. If there's something you'd like to see, just let me know. Oh, pardon my yawn. Okay. Well, I guess then without further ado, continuing on, this one is one that came out in 2000, which makes me feel a little bit old now. It's called Oz the Magical Adventure. It's by DK, Dorian Kindersley. It's an educational game, and it follows basically what essentially happens. Dorothy goes to Oz, meets her friends. Nothing too unusual there. She gets kidnapped by the Wicked Witch, as per usual, and taken away by the Flying Monkeys, but it's before they reach the wizard. So the wizard tells the 3 friends that they have to rescue Dorothy. And there are little games and puzzles that you have to solve. Some where you make juice. Some where you have to reroute water. Some where you have to do some mining stuff before you ultimately meet the Wicked Witch and melt her. And then you save the day. It was designed for ages 5 to 8. I was in high school. I say that. No, I was an 8th grader. I was an 8th grader at this point. So it was a little out of its age range, but it was a lot. I remember it was a really enjoyably fun game, and it was at a time when Warner Brothers owned the rights to the film, but not a lot was really being done merchandise-wise. 2000 was the year that the book turned 100, so there were some things that were happening, but not a whole lot. So it was really just exciting to find a Wizard of Oz computer game, because obviously the last one was 93. And we saw how well that went over. About a year or so later was Rugrats Munchkinland. And then it would be 7 or 8 years before the next game, which will be the last one in our series. There still aren't. There just aren't that many Oz games out there. There's some for the there was a Facebook game for a while, and that was fun until they decided not to keep working on it, and then it got buggy, and then it just died. There's the Oz Slots game. There was Temple Run Oz for Oz Varied and Powerful, but by and large, there's not a lot in the way of Oz games out there for video and computer. So, yeah. So, that is, I guess, this week's video. It's kind of short. Didn't really have a lot to say. So yeah. So, I hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving. To new friends, I'm thankful for you. To old friends, I continue being thankful for you. So this year I have a lot to be very, very thankful for. A lot. So I hope you would do too. I will see y'all after Thanksgiving. So have a good one.